So this video is designed to help you understand how to do the customer development report alternative. This report is based on you doing interviews with people that will fit with the idea that I have given you for the alternative report. So what's nice about this report alternative is that not just you and your group mates are interviewing people about the same idea, but all other people in the class that are doing the alternative report are interviewing people about the same idea. So you'll be able to learn from everybody else in the class. So I've given you some instructions here. You've got the rubrics to see how I grade this. And then I've given instructions of how to do the report step by step. And then I've also given an example interview. So hopefully this will help you as you go through the process. So I'm going to go over here to the instructions. The first thing that you have to do is conduct the interview. I've given you a video about how to do that. After you're done with the video, you should have an audio file. So you could record it with your phone and then transfer the audio file to Google Drive, where you can share it with me in the folder that I give you. You could also use the same way that I did it, using Google Meet and recording the interview, and then you'll have a file that will show up in meeting recordings in your Google Drive. And then what you need to do is you need to upload that video into the folder that I have given you for the class. So I have two folders. I have Management 304 Interview Audio. So what you'll do is, with that file, whether you have it from Google Meet or from your cell phone, you'll need to upload it to one of these two folders. So if you're in a group, you're going to all have the same identifier for your recordings. You'll choose a group leader and record the last 4 digits of their ACE account, and then have underscore and then the number of videos. So you'll start with 1, and if you're in a group of 3, at the end of the semester you should have 21 interviews. If you're just doing this by yourself, you'll only have 7 interviews. And you'll save it into a batch, either batch 1 or batch 2. I'm dividing it into different batches just so that it makes it a little bit more manageable for you to review the work of other people from the class. So we should roughly have 2 batches of the same size. So you'll come in here and save it. I've saved this file, audio underscore the last 4 digits of my ACE account underscore 01, the first interview. If you have a transcript from Tactic, you can also save it in here as transcript underscore the last 4 of the ACE account underscore the file number, and I'll give you a little bit of extra credit for that. It's really nice to have the transcript. It helps you to get the direct quotes more easily from the people that you interview. Okay, so once you have that saved, then you're going to have to review your interview and look for details that relate to the value propositions and the customer segments so that you can do analysis of the interview. So now we're moving on to analyzing the interview. And so you're going to record some of these things into a summary. So the first step is to create a summary for each interview, which you are going to share also with the rest of the class so that the rest of the class can learn from your interview. They don't have to listen to all the interviews, but they need to be able to see your summary. And the summaries are going to be about 1 page. So I'm going to go over here to an example report here that I've created, and you're going to include the summary at the end of your report, and you're also going to include it in a folder so that everybody else can see in this folder that I give you, Management 304 Interview Summaries. Okay, so you're going to include it in this report. And so what does it look like first? First, you got to classify them as whether they're in or outside of the customer segment classification. So I've given you that this idea is focused on growth-oriented or high-growth entrepreneurs, and it's focused on inexperienced or low-experience entrepreneurs. So then you have to classify and give reasons why the person that you interviewed is growth oriented or not, and is inexperienced or not. Okay, so that's important because we're trying to understand if those customer segment details are important. So I'll show you that in the next video about why that's important for the analysis. So what you're going to do is you're going to classify them yes, no, each of those customer segments, and then give some details about that with quotes. Then you can give the details here about the person's name, age, what their business is called, and when they founded their company. So that's about customer segments. That's going to give you information so that you can classify your interview based on customer segments. Now, the next step is to give information that helps to classify the person that you interviewed as either a pass or a fail on the value proposition. A pass means yes, they have the problem that you think that people have, and a no means nah, it probably doesn't have that problem. So in the interview that I did, that I already gave the interview example for, I classified that interview as a fail on solves problems. And then I gave a lot of details about why I thought that was true. And I summarized here in bold just so it was easier to read. I said, well, he paid a consultant from his industry and he thought that was a better alternative. And then I gave some details about that. So that indicates that, well, maybe this idea of having a mentor network is really not that useful for solving problems, because people that are really into it will go out and pay people to do that. And then the other thing is that the consultant that he paid was focused mostly on simple things. So the consultant provides an alternative that maybe indicates that there's already a solution for this for people who really want it. Okay, so that's why it's a fail. So the second value proposition is gaining an entrepreneurial mindset. And I said that again is a fail for John, who I interviewed, because he had many alternatives for getting that mindset. It didn't seem like he needed something else for that. He talks about books and friends that helped him with that. And he also said that a lot of the insights that he needs are very industry specific. So it's not really that helpful to talk to people outside your industry. So I've classified this interview as a fail on both value propositions, meaning that maybe there's not as much of a need for this business idea as I thought. But that's just one interview. The other thing that you're looking for is, are there any other value propositions that might be interesting? And as I reviewed the video, I didn't really get any other value propositions. Hopefully you will in some of your interviews. You'll see, oh, I needed help with this. That would be kind of what you're trying to record. So it's really nice if you can record that. So for each of your interviews, you're going to do that summary. You'll save it as a separate file and then upload that to one of the batches here in summaries that I give you the link. But that's the first step. You need to do a summary, a little summary that you can share with others. Others will be able to see in the Google folder what your summary is, and then you'll also include that into the report. In the next video, we'll talk about how to compile all of this information from multiple summaries into analysis.